If you want to make money copy trading, there is only one thing you need to do. Eliminate slippage. Stop overcomplicating everything. Throw away all the information overload you've been given and lock in with a singular focus on one thing. There are thousands of profitable traders out there. They are printing thousands of dollars a day. And the reality is if you bought at the same price they did and sold at the same price they did, you would be doing the exact same thing. But 80% of copy traders are losing money. And it's because of one thing and one thing only: slippage. There are 5 ways to eliminate slippage and become a profitable copy trader. I break each one down in my new ebook, Copy Trading Secrets. But today we're going to go over one of them, which is a strategy that I call buying the dip. When buying the dip, you don't enter when your target wallet enters. You wait until the price drops below their entry point. And once it hits your designated percentage threshold, you will enter the trade. Then you will automatically exit when they sell, allowing you to not only eliminate slippage, but to actually make more money than your target wallet. We'll go through the entire workflow, from finding wallets that are perfect for this strategy to analyzing the traders to see exactly which ones will work and which ones won't. I'll show you exactly what to look for, and then I'll show you exactly how to set up the correct copy trading bot to execute this strategy automatically. I'll take you through the entire workflow, which is working for me and which is working for dozens of our members. Our community is making more money copy trading than any other community that I've seen in this space. So if that sounds good, then grab a notebook, smash that like button, and let's get started. Alright, welcome everyone. In this video, I'm going to go through a full workflow that I use to find traders like this. We're buying tokens, holding them for a long period of time, and allowing for an opportunity for you to enter the trade at a lower price than they do. I call this strategy buying the dip. It's one of 5 ways to make money in copy trading. I break all 5 down in my latest ebook, Copy Trading Secrets. There's nothing else you need to know. Anything else is just information overload, and it's one of the main reasons why many people fail. There's plenty of money to be made in this game. And what I want you to do is I want you to find one method that you resonate with and stick with that one method until you master it. Instead of trying to do all 5 or 100 things at once and not really succeeding in anything, stick with one thing. Find one wallet, master it, give it enough time to succeed, and I promise you, you will start seeing results. Today we're going to go over the strategy of buying the dip. First, I'll talk about how to find traders who I think will be a good fit for this strategy. Then I'll talk about how to analyze them one by one to see if they actually will work. Then I'll tell you how to know exactly what dip percentage to use and how to set up your copy trading bot to run this automatically. This is the full workflow that I'm using now. It's honestly very easy, and without taking up any more of your time, let's get started. So we're going to go over the full workflow. We'll talk about the philosophy behind this strategy, how to find candidates, how to qualify those candidates, how to analyze them, and then how to execute the strategy correctly. We'll be executing this strategy using Leap Trading Bot, which is 100% free. And throughout the process of finding and analyzing wallets, we will be using the CopyTrader platform, which is not mandatory, but it will save you a lot of time. So the philosophy behind this strategy is really quite simple. My team and I, we analyze thousands of charts and we see patterns all the time. And one pattern that I was seeing so consistently, typically with traders who were trading high market cap tokens, was that after they purchased, there was almost always a dip before the price went back up and they sold. And while this is a very good trade, you wouldn't really need to buy a dip to make a lot of money on this trade. Most trades were looking something like this, where your target wallet would buy and you would buy the top of a candle. Then the price would go down anyway and you would sell the bottom of a candle, basically making no money. And this is what you see so often in copy trading, because actually if you analyze copy trading, it's the worst strategy in existence. You're buying the top of a pump and you're selling the bottom of a dump. Why is this? Because you're copying someone. You're always going to be following someone, when really good traders are trying to get into trades at good positions and sell on a high. But the trade-off is you don't have to look at the computer. You can trade automatically while you're doing other stuff. But in order to do that, until now, you had to be following someone. And usually when someone was good, a lot of other people were following them too. So many times you were buying the top of a pump, selling the bottom of a dump, and even when your target wallet made money, you wouldn't. So I was thinking to myself, okay, everyone's so obsessed with speed, getting into trades as fast as possible, but what's the point? Why do I want to get into a trade fast when I can take my time, wait, and get in at a better position? And that's the whole philosophy behind this strategy. I started to do it manually very successfully, but I don't want to sit by my computer all day waiting for trades. So I ended up trying to develop my own bot for this. And then I ended up finding Leap Trading Bot, who already had this functionality to buy dips. And I worked with them to make the copy trading part of it exactly what I think it needs to be. So that's the philosophy. We just don't want to get into trades as fast as we can at the top of a candle. We want to get in below our target wallet. We want to eliminate slippage, and we can do it. However, this strategy does not work with every trader, which brings us to step 2, which is finding candidates. Now, you can't just plug any trader into your trading bot, tell it to buy the dip, and think that you're going to be successful, because you are not. This strategy only works with certain types of traders. So the traders that I find that this works best with is traders with a high win rate, who have long hold times, and are buying into high market cap tokens. Now, the third one is not necessary, but it makes it a lot easier. First two are absolutely essential. You need a high win rate, because you don't want to be buying into a dip and buying lower than your target wallet if the tokens are just consistently losing, because then you're going to be buying into most of the trades and losing most of the time. If a trader has a high win rate in combination with long hold times, and they're buying high market cap tokens, which typically look like these vast mountainous ranges, which are just consistently going up and down, up and down, up and down for long periods of time, then it's almost impossible to enter a trade and not have it dip before it goes back up. I mean, your timing would have to be incredibly impeccable, which is why this is just such an incredible strategy. Because if someone is winning with a high win rate, so they have maybe an 80% win rate, and they are buying these types of tokens and they are holding for 1 hour to 2 days, then these tokens are just going to be going up and down, up and down, up and down before they sell. So what you're going to see is that 80% of the time when they win, the token will have first dipped. You probably never have noticed this before, but you will now when you look into these types of traders. So if you're buying a dip and you're entering a token, you can be confident that there's an 80% chance that it's going to come back up. But if someone has a low win rate and they're buying into lower market cap tokens and you buy a dip, then the percentage is going to be that it's not going to go back up. So you really don't want to enter into losing trades, because most of the time at low market caps, their trades don't dip, they will go straight up for a win. So you're going to miss all those trades and you're going to buy all the losing trades, and that's not what you want to do. You want to be entering trades where 80% of the time the trades win and 80% of the time the trades dip. And really the only time you can find this is in high market cap tokens that look like this, and with traders who hold for long periods of time. I've got a million examples like this, and these pictures are all from the same trader, consecutive trades. Almost, well, literally every single time the token goes down before it goes back up. So those are the 3 things that I'm looking for: high win rate, long hold times, high market cap tokens. But honestly, like I said before, this is not essential. And I've actually noticed that this is also not even essential if you do this right. So as long as a trader has a high win rate, I've found that I'm able to do really well with scalpers who are trading pretty fast and are just scalping like a small profit margin. So the win rate was very high in this guy, like 92%, but he was only taking like 6 to 7% per trade. And usually in copy trading, you could never be profitable with a guy like this. This was one of the tokens he traded. So he was buying here, he was selling for like a 7% gain. He was buying here, selling for like a 5% gain, buying 2 more times, selling for like a 6% gain. Typically very hard to do in traditional copy trading, because you're always going to be buying at a higher point and selling at a lower point. And when he's only getting 4 or 5% in profit, it's just not enough room for you to make profit as well. But here's my trades copying him buying the dip. So this is an up close shot of this second portion here, but I was able to consistently enter each buy at a lower point than him and sell pretty much exactly where he sold. So while he was scalping 6 to 7%, I was making even more money than him. So long hold times aren't even 100% needed, although they do help. But I'd say high win rate is the number one thing that you need to be looking for. I also had another time when I used this strategy on a trader with a 1% dip threshold. So actually in the same exact candle as him, when he bought, the price went up, someone else sold, it came down, I bought, and I actually entered the trade at the exact same price that he did in the exact same candle, 0 slippage. So if you're able to do that and you can find a way to do it consistently, then you can really copy trade anyone. But I haven't done enough experimentation with that to confidently portray that in this workflow. So for now, until I nail down the scalping strategy, I'm sticking to teaching finding guys with a high win rate, long hold times, because there's much more opportunity for entrance and exits. And I'm wanting to find guys who buy those high market cap tokens that go up and down and up and down and up and down. So what win rates am I really looking for? I'd say honestly anything above 65 is a really good starting point. I would say the longer the hold time, the less the win rate really needs to be. So in the case of a scalper who has like a 2 to 5 minute hold time, as I showed you before, I'm looking for someone above 90%. But for someone who's holding, in this case, from 1 hour to 1 day, then you can really get away with a lower win rate. Anything above 65 puts them as a potential candidate in my mind, because there's more time for the token to go up, to go down. There's more time for you to take profit even before they do. And there's just more opportunity for something to happen. All right, so those are the metrics that we are really looking for. So how do we find these wallets? How do we find a consistent list of these wallets? Because I've got a list of about 50 wallets that meet this criteria right now, and I'll show you exactly how I found all of them. So what I'm doing to find traders like this who are consistently buying high market cap tokens and holding for a long period of time is I am looking through the high market cap tokens that look like this and finding the most successful traders who have bought into this token. I'm not going to be searching for top traders in a token that looks like this, because that's going to show me people who buy tokens that look like this. So on top of that, what you don't want as well is someone who's buying high market cap tokens sometimes, and then they are also buying these types of tokens as well. You want to make sure that the trader is a genuine swing trader. That is the technical terminology for this type of trader. They're buying old tokens who have been running for long periods of time, sometimes years. And when they go down, they're buying, and when they go up, they're selling, and they're just repeating that over and over and over. It's a beautiful strategy and beautiful for us to capitalize on it. So how do we find these types of traders? Well, first we need to find these types of tokens. So then we can scrape for the top traders of those tokens and then find the traders who are buying them. If you came to Axiom and you checked the latest migrated tokens, that would seem like a good strategy, but it can be tough because these tokens are very new. And swing traders are usually buying older tokens, anywhere from 1 day old to even 1 year old. But I find the sweet spot is between 2 and 7 days. This is where I found my best traders. But honestly, it doesn't really matter, because even those traders are sometimes trading really well-established meme coins that have been running for over 2 years. So what you can do is you can come to the Copy Trader platform, where we've got all of our tools for finding wallets like this. This is a paid platform. I'm the creator of this platform, and it's not necessary, but honestly, it will save you incredible amounts of time. So when you log in at copytrader.com with 2 R's, you can come to our wallet drop section, and here's where we drop 100 profitable wallets every day. What I recommend doing is coming down and filtering for total trades to be over 30. So now you're getting wallets that have been trading for a long period of time. You can sort by win rates here, and just come in here, try to find someone between 80 and 90%. Try to find someone who's traded a lot of tokens. So let's open this one up. Now the stats will always be different than GMGN because they are going by time and we are going by transactions. But all I'm looking for here now is just a token that is a few days old. And obviously this guy hasn't been trading much lately, and these tokens have no liquidity, so I'm not interested in them. I'll move on to the next one. Let's try this one here. So we can come down, try to find a token that if you're on GMGN, you can tell when the token is created here from this one. This is when they bought it, or their last activity took place on the token, and this is how old the token is. Try to find a token that still has liquidity, which means it's still running, it's still doing well. There's no red warning sign next to it, and that is 1 to 7 days old. So we have a lot of options here. Here's a nice one that's 4 days old. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check this token out in Photon or Axiom. I prefer Photon. I'll pop it in and I'll just see what's going on. So the market cap is 9,000. This is not a token that is still running. However, it did run for quite a while. So there may have been some really good swing trading going on this token. So, we may be able to find some pretty decent wallets on this token, even though it's actually not the best, but we'll check it out. So what you can do when you find tokens that you think match the criteria that you want the traders you are copying to be buying, come to the Copy Trader tools, head to the Top Trader Analyzer. Here you can find the top 200 traders for that token, or you can try the Top Trader Elite tool, which will show you the top 500 traders. It just takes a little bit longer, but I want to dive deep here. So I'm going to scrape the top 500 traders for this token. Let's see what the results look like. So when that's done, you'll see that it shows 96 filtered results. The rest were filtered out to eliminate any traders with a negative ROI and any bots that are trading more than 50 times per day. So you can come down, you can see all the results in a beautiful grid like this. You can filter and sort. So let's just sort here by win rates. So we have some really fantastic candidates here. Here's a 79% win rate with this 25% ROI, 70 total trades. A lot of trades per day, which I don't like that too much, but if they are holding for a long period of time, which they are, 21 hours, well, these don't count. 21 minutes, 10 minutes. Okay, not as long as I would like to see. 16 minutes. Yeah, GMGN for some reason has all of this bullshit in here now. It makes it really hard to look at some of these guys. Okay, now I'm back to actual trades that happened 12 hours ago. All right, so he's holding pretty quickly, but he's buying with a very small amount of money. So this is a very interesting trader. What I'm going to do basically is I've got a Google file here, a Google sheet with all traders I like. Traders, I've got 50 traders that are perfect for buy the dip. And what I'm going to do, what you should do is create something similar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw these wallets that I think could be potential candidates into a spreadsheet. I've got a whole file here for traders that I like, that I come across, whether it be people for buying the dip, developer wallets, things like this, people who are buying small size, just so I can organize my potential target wallets. So I checked that one. Let's check this one out. Again, win rate is nice. Hold times are not that bad. Okay, possible potential clients here. Okay, this one looks a little bit better. Less trades per day. Only 4 total trades though, so I don't like that. So this one looks really nice. Once again, have to filter through all the GMGN garbage for some reason. But 2-hour hold time, 5-hour hold time, 53-second, 9-hour hold time. This could be a very possible candidate here. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just going through and I'm finding potential candidates for me to use this strategy with. And once you find a really good one, like I'm not going to make you sit here while I go through all of these. I found a pretty decent one that I like, and I'm going to do a live analysis of this trader in a little bit. The win rate is not as high as I would like, but the ROI is pretty good, and I hope to be able to get a better ROI than him or her. And the hold times are nice, 2 hours, 1 hour. So I think this is a pretty good candidate. But once you find one good candidate who's consistently buying high market cap tokens and swing trading, and I've checked the last 20 trades for this guy, and he is 100% buying the same types of tokens every single time. So once you find one, now you've got a continuous source of high market cap tokens that are perfect for swing trading. So what you can do is you can come through and just run every one of the tokens that he bought through the Top Trader Analyzer Elite and just continuously find new candidates. Continuously update your spreadsheet with these new candidates and then check them and then run their trades, finding new candidates. Just rinse and repeat. It's why I have over 50 candidates for this strategy right now, because I just did that consistently, and it just gives you incredible traders over and over. And if you wanted to do this on Deck Screener, it would take you like 7 hours. So I think these tools are really, really useful for this workflow, and I highly, highly recommend them. So that's it. You found your first initial aged token from one of your traders, wherever you found them from. You scrape that to find some more good candidates. You add them to your list. Now you're slowly growing a list of potential candidates. And with all these candidates, every time they buy a new token, you've got a new token to scrape for even more candidates. So you've just got a never-ending supply of perfect candidates for this strategy. So once you've got 10, 20, 30, 40 candidates, however many you want, now it's time to go through and qualify them to see if they're a good fit to run this. So how do you do this? You basically just need to analyze the last 10 to 20 trades. You can do it however you want. I'll show you how I have done it. And then based on the analysis, you'll know right away whether or not they are a good fit to run this strategy with, and I'll show you what to look for. So soon in the tools, we'll be adding something that will help you analyze traders to figure out the perfect dip percentage to buy in. Right now we've got the settings analyzer, which helps you find the best take profit and stop loss. So we'll be similar to that, but right now you'll just have to manually do it on your own. I'll show you how I've done it in the past, and you can do it however you like. So let's take this trader, and I'm just going to run through here live. I'm not going to be super professional about it. I'm going to be doing a lot of thinking, a lot of typing while I do it. So forgive the production value, and then I'll just show you what I'm doing, and then I'll show you the end result and how I figure out whether or not he's a good fit for this strategy, and if so, what dip percentage to set in the Leap trading bot. And then I'll show you how to do that. At the end, I'll be as quick as I can. I know this is already a long workflow, but these kind of things take a long time. I mean, it's not a lot to commit to watching an hour-long video if it can make you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars a week. But I do appreciate your time, and I really appreciate you being here. So thank you for making it this far. It will all be worth it, trust me. So I'm just gonna analyze this in real time, dictate it as I go, and see if this guy is a good fit for the buy the dip strategy. Then you'll know how to do the same. I'll come to Photon, open up the first token, which goes here. Then I'll come back at the address. Okay, so now I'll zoom out, find his buy, find his sell, and okay, so far so good. This is perfect buying the dip opportunity. He buys here, I can buy anywhere around here, and I would be looking at a nice 20% profit from that token. So now I'm usually doing this on paper, but I'm going to show you on here. So I'll take the first token and see basically, okay, was there a dip? Yes. We had 6 minutes. Enter the dip. Would it result in a win? Yes. Win. 20% gain. So that's what I'm doing when I analyze these guys, because I want to see, is it worth doing the strategy on this guy or not? That's what we're going to find out. Now we'll go to the next one. I'm going to go fast. Contract address in. Okay, we got here. Was there a dip? Yeah, doesn't matter because it was a loss. How much would we have lost on this one? How much would we have lost on this one if we copied his? We bought the dip around here. We would have lost about 80%, which is not great at all. But it is what it is. And he only lost 50% because he bought again here. So he lost only 50% of a double buy rather than that's losing more than 80% of a single buy. So just hopefully he doesn't have many of those. That's the goal. And I'm hoping the majority of his winners did. Okay. This one actually seems like he bought sometimes in this huge spike because he was profitable here. So he must have bought around here. So when we enter this trade, we're not going to enter yet. We probably wouldn't enter yet. And then we would keep watching it. We would have entered here. So I'm going to count this one as a dip. We would have got 27% on that. Okay. How long did we have till the entry? Quite a long time. About 39 minutes. Okay. So yeah, sorry if I'm not talking too much and this is a boring video. I just want to record what I would literally be doing if I wasn't recording. And if there's something worth saying, then I'll say it so you guys can follow along. Nice. See, okay, that's sweet. So he came in here. By the time we loaded everything up, we'd probably be around here. Already at a dip. We'd probably buy it. And we'd be looking at 23% on his sell. 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Plenty of time to buy the dip. We would have won 23%. Now this guy would be great so far if we didn't have this big fat loss. But you know what? I would definitely have a stop loss in place in this strategy. So no way I'm losing more than 40% on that trade. Because if I'm buying the dip, I'm putting a stop loss. So if it just keeps going down, then it's going to sell. So I didn't even think about that. But so far we are profitable with this guy. I really like that. All right, here is another loss. Let's see what that looks like. All right, so I don't know why some of these spike up so much right around the time that he buys, but some of them don't. Whatever. So what was his price entry? I guess you really got to look at the price because you got to know, when is the dip, and that's just now. If you're doing it in real time, you're looking at the market cap on the alert. But right now, I got to look at the price. So where did he buy? 781. So he bought all the way up here. So yep, we would have had plenty of time to get in at a dip. Probably would have got in here. It was a loss though, so we would have sold around here for minus 15%. No big deal. That's when we lose less than he loses. Boom, dip, plenty of time. So we literally had probably another 20 minutes into the dip. Lose minus 15%. I'm just going to put a note here as well whenever we're hitting stop loss. All right, now we get into a big run of wins. This is what I want to see. If we can survive the times where he's not having a 75% win rate and we're still breaking even, now I want to see some big win. Just need to hope that the coins were dipping and not going up only. Locating the buy. These are good tokens that he's buying, by the way. So if you copy traded this guy like for like, you would get crushed because he's only got a 10% ROI. Beautiful dip. The only way to win with this guy is to buy the dip. So all the people who comment on YouTube saying that this won't work, I disagree. So he's buying 234. Okay, he bought here. Plenty of time to buy the dip. Probably buy the dip around here. So that's around 2 minutes later. He's selling. Probably exit there. Nice. We get a nice 58%. We make more money than he did on that one. That's what's up. It's amazing, huh? How every one of his tokens has dipped so far. So common with traders who hold for a long time. So common. So now we're way in profit, man. And we're running on, here's a nice run of wins here. So it's amazing how every one of his tokens has dipped so far. And we are right now in profit. So hopefully that continues over the course of all of these wins here. So let's check this one. I didn't see it. Nice. Another dip. Awesome. 172. So he bought here. It was so much time to buy the dip. Probably buy around here. Whoever told me this strategy in the YouTube comments would never work. Yeah. We had a lot of time to buy the dip there again. What was that? Like, that was plus 68, right? 60. Being conservative. Being conservative. 60% win. Love it. Okay. So this is what you do. I don't know how long I'm gonna keep this video running for you, because I'm sure you get the point. And I'm amazed that I haven't found one on this guy, probably will now, that hasn't dipped before he sold. There we go. Maybe this is one. What did he get on this? 13%. He bought at 153 right here. We'd still get in the dip. I don't know how we made 16% on this, but we would have made 6%. Lots of time to buy the dip, win 6%. All right, maybe I'm actually interested to see if we'll find one that doesn't dip. Well, I'm telling you, this is a good strategy, man, especially on guys who hold for a long time and will buy good tokens like this. So remember, 3 criteria for this. They buy good tokens that last ages. Another dip, they hold for a long time, and they have a high win rate. That is the criteria that we are looking for. So he bought all the way up here. No way. 712, that's what it says. So he bought it all the way up here. We'll call it that. I don't even know how he bought up there. So we would have bought anywhere around here would be considered a dip. Let's just say there. We would have made a cool 45%. This is printing money. Printing money. Would have had to be fast on this one. So this is what I would do for this. And if we were investing 1 Solana each time, then right now we would be, I'm doing a simple formula, which will tell me what our gain would be if we invested 1 Solana. I'm going to do a sum of how much we invested. And do a sum here. All the equals sum these. So we would have invested 1 Solana. We would have earned 1.8 Solana in 8 trades. That's wild. That's wildly bullish. This strategy is awesome. So I would do this for maybe 20 trades and see what the total profit would be. And if it's profitable to a point where it's worth it, then awesome. Perfect. Okay, so forgive me. I actually made a mistake while making this spreadsheet because I did an old workflow that I used to do before Leap Trading Bot when I had to buy manually, which is why I had the time that I had available to buy the dip, because I used to buy it manually on Photon. But I realize now that this is absolutely not needed, this column. So I'm literally going to delete all of that. You don't need to do that. But what you do need instead is the dip percentage, which I did not calculate or write down for each one. And what that would look like would be basically what you need is from the time of purchase, you want to know approximately how big was the dip. So in this case, it was 23% down. So for each token, I'm simply coming in here and writing the percent of the dip, then whether it was a win, and then what is the percent gained from the point of dip. So in this case, from the dip to the point of selling, what is the percent gain in this? 174%. I mean, what a trade. That's absolutely outrageous. So that wasn't for this one. That was actually for the next one. So I'm just going to go through and update that, and I'm going to just update these numbers. And yeah, that's actually crazy. Okay, so I've gone back and added all of these in here. and updated these, giving the new results of 3.58, which is mainly because the next trade was just fantastic. So now I obviously know that this is a great candidate for this strategy. So we've gone through the philosophy, we've gone through finding candidates, we've qualified them by opening up their GMGNs, adding them to a list, and now we are analyzing each one. And now it's time to execute. So obviously this is a great candidate for running this strategy. So now it's time to execute. So what I'm going to show you is how to do that and how to determine what dip percentage to use. So this is my favorite part. I like this part. You get to be creative. I like the whole analysis aspect of it. So if you're in Leap and you're creating a copy trading task, when you go to your entry strategies and you select to buy the dip, you can choose a percentage. So what this is, it just says like, if your trader bought here, what percentage do you want the token to go down before you enter the trade? If it's 10, then as soon as you hit minus 10%, you will enter the trade right around here. If it's 20, then you won't enter until all the way down here. And the lower you enter, the more potential upside that you have. There's also the fact that the lower you enter, the less likely you are going to be to enter into losing trades. So if he bought here and the trade was losing and he sold here for a 10% loss, but your dip was set to buy at 20%. Since he sold before the dip was hit, you would not enter that trade. And that's exactly what we want. Just make sure when you're in the bot that you select cancel signal waiting on wallet sell. So now I need to figure out what would be the best dip percentage to use with this trader. Now it's going to be different for every trader. When you're copying a scalper like I was copying here, I had a 2% dip percentage because I just wanted to get in the trade because he was buying so fast and it was going down a little bit and then going right back up. I just wanted to get into as many trades as I could at a better price than he was. But that probably wouldn't be the best strategy for this trader because I would probably enter the trade right away, which is advantageous, but I'm leaving out so much potential profit because the difference between getting in here and getting in down here is 60%. That's huge. So the way I do this, we will have a tool on CopyTrader which will allow you to just input this worksheet and it will analyze it for you and tell you what the best settings would be. Basically, I want to see like how low can I go, which will limit how much I will lose on the losing trades, but how low can I go that I'm not skipping too many trades, but I'm making the most out of my wins. So in this case, I could play it safe. I could use a 5% dip and I would enter every winning trade except this one, which is fine. It was only a 6% win. And I would catch these losing trades. I would lose about 10% on this one because I'm entering 5% lower than he was. And I would lose about 35% on this one. Not that bad. But what's also good to notice is that the lower you set your dip percentage, the smaller stop loss you can have. So that's really good for limiting and protecting your downside. So for example, if I was in this trade and it goes down around 21% and I had my dip set to buy at minus 15%, that means realistically after I bought, I could have a 10% stop loss that would trigger if I came down to minus 25%, but in this trade I never would. So we'd hit this point, I'd go down about 5% and then we'd shoot back up for about a 130% win. So the downside is very small, but the upside is unlimited. It just depends on when the trader sells. So you have to find the balance that works for you. Do you want to only have a very small dip just to get in the trades and have a larger stop loss, hit more of the wins, or do you want to have a larger dip, miss these trades, but when you do hit, you hit big, and when you don't, you lose very small. So like I said, we'll have an algorithm that will do this for you, but it's also subjective. It just depends on what you like. Me, I like to limit risk. So I want to have a higher dip threshold, even though it means I'm not going to get into this trade. I'm not going to get into this trade, and I'm probably not going to get into this trade. So let's say I set my dip to be 10%. That tells me that, okay, if I want to make sure that I get into all of these trades, then I need a stop loss that is greater than 15%. Actually, this was a losing trade. So just this one. So I just need a stop loss greater than 13%. So what I can do is I can set my dip percentage to 10%. So I'll buy the dip when it drops 10%. I'll cancel it if the trader sells before that. And then I'll set my exit strategy to have a very tight stop loss of 15% where I sell everything. So this way, on this trade, since I'm already going down 10% and the dip goes all the way down to 80 when the trader sells, then I'm only going to lose 15%, which is my stop loss. And on this trade, when the trader sells, when it's down 25%, I'm going to go down 10% and still I'm only going to lose 15% because that is my new stop loss. But I'm going to enter in all of these trades, winning 5 out of 7 trades and netting 2.92 Solana. I love that. So you just need to figure out what's right for you. You can play around with it and find the best combination which yields the highest earned results. Or you can play it safe, earn a little bit less, but have a very small downside. Personally, that's better for me. So that's the analysis. Pretty simple. It'll be more complicated with more trades, and you should do at least 10, ideally 20. But really, all you have to do is decide what dip percentage you want to use, what stop loss you want to use, and edit the sheet to see the new results. So now that you're done analyzing and the trader is a good fit, you know what settings you want to use, simply time to execute. To do that, you need the Leap trading bot. It's the only trading bot which will allow you to enter a trade on a dip. No other trading bot can do this at the moment. If you want to download it, use the link in the video description below to join our Discord channel, Copy Trader. Once you remember, come down to the Leap trading bot section, go to the download Leap section. You can download Leap on any system. If you want to run it 24/7, you can get a VPS, and we show you how to set everything up in the tutorials. Once you have it downloaded, either on your VPS or your local machine, you're going to need a key to gain access. Keys are free. Simply come here and DM the Copy Trader key handler bot and say, get key. Then you will get your access key and be able to start using the bot immediately. Watch the tutorials on how to do all of this, how to create wallets, and to know exactly how the bot works. Alternatively, you can come to Leap official links and you can sign up for their Telegram bot. The Telegram bot does everything that the Leap GUI trading bot does just in Telegram. This runs 24/7 and a lot of people prefer this method. So once you're signed up and you have the bot downloaded and you're signed in, you're going to want to create a task. You're going to go to Copy Trade, you're going to choose your target wallet, you're going to set your buy size. You're going to set whatever settings that you want. In this case, I'm not doing that. I do want to copy sells. You can set your fees, your tips, and whatever system or processor you want to use. Personally, since you don't have to get in fast buying the dip, I use RPC and 0.001 for buy and sell. Then you can set your dip strategy. Go to buy dip, normal dip mode. We'll talk about the other dip modes in other videos. Set your dip percentage. I don't need a dip timeout. I don't need a dip recovery. I don't need a dip recovery timeout, but very important, I don't want to buy the token the trader sells before my dip is reached. You can set whatever filters you want, whatever limits you want for the trader. You can set your exit strategy to be whatever you want. We go over all of this in the tutorials, so refer to those videos for any of this stuff. Then you simply create the task, and when you are ready, click the eye and press play. Now we are running. You can see all your activity in the activity tab, all your analytics in the analytics tab. One last thing to mention, if you find that your trader is consistently winning on many tokens without them dipping, which does happen a lot, it didn't happen here, but there's many times where the dip is 0%. And in that case, you would miss a 60% win if you didn't enter that trade. If a token doesn't dip, if they bought here and it went straight up, they had impeccable timing, or they bought here or something like that, which I see a lot, and the token never dipped, that tells you one thing, that the trade was a win. A lot of people like to do this. It's totally up to you. You can create two tasks, one to buy the dip and another task to buy immediately. So you'll enter the trade immediately. You'll win all the winning trades that don't dip. And then you'll also enter the trade again when the token dips and hits your dip threshold. So you have two buys on the ones that dip and one buy on the ones that don't. You'll win all the ones that don't dip, and then you'll run the same strategy on all the ones that do dip. But instead of entering at an average price of -20, if your dip is set to -20, it will simply be an average between your first buy and your second buy. So it will be about a -10% differential, which is still fantastic. But keep this in mind when analyzing and deciding what stop loss to use. But very important to note, if you do have two tasks, one to buy immediately and one to buy a dip, both tasks will be treated separately. So if you sell in one task, it won't sell the tokens in the other task. So each task will need its own settings and its own stop loss. And if you want a stop loss that is 10% below your dip, then you're going to need a 25% stop loss from when you buy immediately. Probably a little bit more to allow for the slippage of the buy. So maybe 30% here and 10 to 15% here. I have spoken to the Leap devs recently, and we are going to add in the functionality where you can have one single task and you can choose to have multiple entry strategies where you can buy immediately and then also buy the dip and buy multiple dips. So you would be able to buy immediately, buy at a 5% dip, and buy at a 10% dip, and buy at a 15% dip. And all the tokens will be grouped together at one average price and would all sell at the same time. So that's coming in an update very soon. But until then, just keep that in mind, that each task will need its own selling settings. That's it, everyone. That's the whole workflow. I think this is the most powerful strategy for beginners because it's extremely risk averse. You're buying into really successful high market cap tokens. You can have a low stop loss and unlimited upside. It's definitely a strategy that requires patience because sometimes you'll be holding tokens for days. So you need to have enough capital to be able to be in a bunch of trades and then continue to make more trades until the first ones you are in sell. But usually some will sell after 3 to 4 hours. So if you think this is cool, comment below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any ideas on how this workflow can be improved. And either way, join our Discord. We've got the most incredible copy trading community. We're talking all the time, helping each other out. Our users are making crazy amounts of money every single day, even guys who are brand new. We've got a great assortment of copy traders, from guys just starting out to guys who are using nodes, making crazy amounts of money. Check out the tools at copytrader with 2 R's.com if you want daily wallet drops and the best tools to analyze, simulate, and perfect those wallets and your strategies. Thank you everyone for being here. So grateful to have you watching this. Smash a like on this video if you liked it, and I'll see you next time.